Starting out with a player that we've used quite a few times throughout this year, at least when he's been healthy, and that's David Montgomery. I'm going to be on the over on his rushing yards available at 65 and a half. This is a little bit higher than we've seen it in a lot of games, but the over is 6-0 on the year, excluding the one game against the Bucks where he got hurt during the game. Obviously, the under hit in that one. But when he's been healthy throughout the full game, he's hitting the over consistently. And it really is all about the Lions' offensive line. They're absolutely dominant. Based on opponent adjusted rushing yards before contact, they rank second, getting 50% more yards before contact than their opponents allow against everybody else. So I think these lines for him continue to come in pretty low because, we've seen he's been in the league long enough that we kind of know who he is as a runner. He's not an explosive runner, doesn't put up huge numbers typically, but just doesn't matter going behind this offensive line. He's been so dominant. Now, and the Packers run defense, it's not bad, slightly above average even, but almost everybody is a bad matchup for this Lions offensive line. And especially in this matchup where we think the game script is also going to go his direction, this over looks like a good bet.
You have another Montgomery prop as well.
Yeah, I'm also going to be on him as an anytime touchdown scorer. The best line I've seen for this is -145, which isn't great, but he's just such a good bet. I think that even that number might be a little generous. Normally, I wouldn't play anytime touchdown props in that range, but the rate that they use him is fantastic. And there should be plenty of scoring opportunities for him in this game. The Lions rank 12th in red zone rate. 31% of their drives reach the red zone. And Green Bay, their defense ranks 26th in red zone rate. So they're going to get into the red zone. Then obviously we know when he gets near the goal line, he gets the ball at 35% usage rate inside the 5-yard line. So great chance for him to score a touchdown, which should be a fairly high scoring game for Detroit.
Yeah. All right. So the next prop you have is something you don't need the red zone to be in for this guy to get a touchdown. Jameson Williams coming out party a little bit last week. I guess you think it's going to continue this week, Ryan.
Yeah, I'm going to be on the over on his longest reception, and this line is available at 14 and a half yards, which I was excited to see. I thought maybe it would rise a little bit this week, but this is a pretty generous number for us. He has been getting on the field more often the past couple weeks, up to, I believe it was 62%, played 62% of their snaps last week, which was his highest rate. He topped 50% for the first time the week before that. So his usage is going up a little bit. And this is a good matchup for him in terms of the Packers coverage. They play a high rate of single high coverage, 70% outside the red zone. And that bodes well for a player like Williams. Anytime you got single high coverage, it's more likely to have one-on-one matchups on the outside. So these speedsters like Williams, it's a good opportunity to target them downfield. Now, since he returned earlier this season, he's seen a 12% target share against single high coverage. That's double the rate that he sees against two high. So it's clear that this is a coverage scheme that they like to get him the ball to. And when he is going up against that single high coverage, 55% of his targets are 10 or more yards downfield. 36% are 15 or more yards downfield. So with this longest reception prop available at just 14 and a half yards, and he's seeing more than 1 out of every 3 targets beyond that against this type of coverage, seems like an obvious one to bet. I think this is probably my favorite one for the game because he's going to see some targets downfield. He doesn't even need any yak. All he's got to do is come down with the ball.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, this to me is such a no-brainer. It's really Wilde that this one is available to us. The next one, you must have looked into your McCrystal ball and come up. Sorry, I can't believe it took me all year to think of that one. A.J. Dillon looks like he will not have Aaron Jones by his side, but even so, you think A.J. Dillon is going to go under his running prop, Ryan?
Yeah, under 49 and a half rushing yards for A.J. Dillon. And I might even hold off a little bit to see, because I don't believe that they've announced for certain that Aaron Jones isn't going to play. I think it's just they're certainly leaning that direction, but I don't think it's been announced yet. It might be worth waiting on this because maybe that line even shifts a little bit if we get a definitive out for Jones, because I think people will think that probably, obviously would be more usage for Dillon and maybe boost his number up a little bit. But this is just such a tough matchup. I don't think it's going to go well for him. But really comes down to is the way that the Packers play offense. They invite stacked boxes. Their running backs run into a box of 7 or more defenders on 74% of their carries. Now, Dillon is the type of running back who can handle that. He's not terrible running into a stacked box, but the Lions defense has actually been very good in those situations, allowing 3.5 yards per attempt. That ranks 10th overall when defending with a stacked box. And it was a problem when these teams met last time. Dillon and Jones only combined for 27 yards on 10 carries in that matchup. And it's very realistic that the game script in this goes the same way. If Lions build a lead, that could just limit his usage as well. So a good opportunity as far as game script going in our direction, and also a favorable matchup from the Lions' perspective in terms of how Green Bay will allow them to stack the box.